We say yes to everything that the external world asks and demands of us so that we never have to feel the disappointment of another and whatever we have made that mean about us. And likewise, in the opposite of the same, we rarely are able to express our needs, the support we require, our desires, especially from other, in case they are unable to be met, and therefore we feel the weight of our own disappointment. Welcome to the Embodied Woman podcast with me, Rebecca Wilson. An embodied experiential space for you to drop deep into the wealth of wisdom within your being and activate a fuller, richer you. I am a feminine awakener, thought leader, embodied business doula, sacred business midwife, healer, and all-round medicine woman. I am here to guide women deeper into their essence and power, to activate their life force, awaken pleasure, and support them to live an embodied life. I will help you birth your visions, dreams, creations, desires, and sacred business into the world from an easeful, embodied, and rooted place within. My work supports women to become more available for life, love, relationship, connection, creation, pleasure, and wealth. I will activate you into self-leadership and self-mastery to truly live an embodied and awakened life. Welcome on the journey, my love. Hello, love. Welcome back to the Embodied Woman podcast. Today, what is living on my heart and has very much been a theme that I have been speaking about with the women in my world and also writing about and sharing within my Instagram community and the women in my mail list space too. And this is the theme of the burnt out martyr. This has been a theme that I have historically journeyed through and processed through in my own healing and integration journey on this powerful journey of responsibility and sovereignty and leadership of myself and my life and relationships and business. And what arrives for me is that we live in this current time on planet Earth in a world that glorifies hustle, busyness, self-abandonment, lack of self-responsibility. And yet there has been this energy of the burnt out martyr, the burnt out woman, particularly is what I am speaking into here, that has been so deeply woven into the consciousness of the feminine frequency, carried through generations in a period of time where women have been told that they can do it all, which we can, but not all at the same time. And within this movement of feminism, there has been light and there has been shadow. And when we quite literally pick up the belief that we can do it all, and that translates to we must do it all, or we have to do it all, or it's our job or our role to do it all, these threads of expression can often become distorted, kind of like Chinese whispers. They get passed down and become a little bit changed and altered each time they are shared or reverberated through the consciousness of the planet. And my sense is that somewhere along the way, these messages have been lost or distorted or fragmented. And we've existed in this time where doing it all, being it all, giving it all to others, possibly sacrificing the connection with self, glorifying the busyness and hustle, rewarding this energy of burnout and adrenaline overload and complete exhaustion as a badge of honor for us to wear, to kind of compare ourselves to one another. We've all heard or been involved in some kind of conversation, I'm sure, where either we or somebody else has uttered the words that I've been so busy this, I can't believe how much I got done that, I'm so exhausted, I'm wiped out. And there's this felt sense of connection that can arrive in uttering these words and being in these frequencies and these expressions. Other people hear us there. They're also burnt out too, depleted, undernourished. And you somehow find connection and a sense of community or solid ground in sharing from this burnt out place. And this is often where the martyr arrives. We find ourselves at this time, I believe, especially through the conversations that I am so blessed to be able to have, where women are asking themselves some really big questions. What is it that serves my body and my energy? This feminine frequency, this essence of mine, it doesn't seem to work in this way, in this world of hustle and push and busy and strive, in this patterning of linear force and expectation. Many echoes of the women's voices I hear expressing that they feel unwell, ungrounded, disconnected, in pain, manifesting with signs and symptoms in their body, womb-related health issues, disconnect from their feminine nature, disconnected from pleasure, unable to find connection with themselves or their partners or their children, feeling constantly exhausted, even if they've slept for 10 hours. The feeling of needing to push the go button and get up every day and move in this cycle that does not support the greater cycle of feminine nature. And through these conversations, there is an awakening that tends to happen. And that awakening ripples through as more women speak of these feelings that they're having. And we begin to ask ourselves and each other some really valuable questions. Are you currently walking the path of the burnt out martyr? Being in this state of burnout, being exhausted, undernourished, depleted, placing yourself at the bottom of the list or the pile of support and nurture and nourishment. How does it serve? How has it been serving? Because these things in their expression always do. It may not seem to be true to the conscious thinking mind, but unconsciously or subconsciously, being in this energy has been of service in some way, somehow. And is this place that you desire to stay? Do you desire to stay in this frequency, embodying this particular archetype? Or are you ready to traverse the journey towards becoming an embodied and resourced woman who unapologetically is able to prioritize herself and her needs? The burnt out martyr exists in victim energy. She lacks boundaries, places blame externally, projects onto her external world, carries wounds of thinking she needs to do it all, believes no one can support her, is unable to receive the support she needs, is unable to voice herself and her needs, places others' needs above her own, most often through learnt behavior. This is definitely a generational patterning, and then proceeds to complain about it. She finds some state of safety or connection in the complaining and moaning about the pouring out from herself and not receiving or having her needs met. There is a loop of expression that exists here in the inability to voice herself, the fear of voicing herself, the possibility of a fear of unmet needs, of being disappointed, but also whatever it is that plays out for the individual within being in this particular expression. Maybe she was seen as a child here, loved or accepted, celebrated for being the woman that can do it all, for being the little girl that can do it all. And we carry these patterns on. They're strategies that we create, and they can seemingly work in our external world and our relationships until they no longer can. And that is usually a time when the body has reached fatigue, burnout, depletion, undernourishment, aches, pains, maybe illnesses or diagnoses begin to creep in and are placed upon the body. Hormonal imbalances, mineral deficiencies and depletions, a lack of connection to cycle, a loss of the menstrual cycle, inability to conceive, fertility challenges, issues in the menopause, and so much more. This is all the ways in which these expressions and the lack of boundaries and existing in the victim energy impact our feminine essence and frequency. And as we move through these patterns and belief systems, we have an opportunity to walk the path to become an embodied and resourced woman. Here we are able to resource ourselves and meet our own needs and ask for support, guidance, and help when needed. We are able to voice our needs, hold healthy boundaries, prioritize self-care, lives with a knowing that you cannot pour from an empty cup. We are able to exist in sovereignty and lead ourselves throughout our life and relationships. The embodied resource woman has a depth of connection and attuned relationship to herself and her body, listening to the cues and the signs of what the body may need, and finding ways to pour that in, whether that be from self or asking for support from other. Living and existing in the place of interdependence, where she is no longer in fierce, hyper independence, blocking out all vulnerability and space of connection and need and support, and no longer in codependence, merging with the external in complete collapse. This space of interdependence which exists in the beautiful nuanced place of the middle. This place of equilibrium and homeostasis, a place of balance, where she's able to hold herself whilst simultaneously being held by another, where vulnerability is expressed. Communication comes with ease, expressing her thoughts, feelings, needs, wants, and desires, where she is also able to hold in her body disappointment. This is a huge one for many women. I know it's been huge for me. As a child, I often felt disappointment, and through that, built up a fear of expressing my desires and needs, as I didn't want to feel disappointed, so I never expressed them. When we work through patterns such as this, and we're able to hold more of that which we are fearful of in our system, we become more integrated, embodied, and whole. Holding the frequency of disappointment, our own, and also the disappointment of others, is a really profound journey of integration. Very often we exist in that burnt out martyr energy, in the victim, and the people pleaser, so afraid of disappointing others and feeling their disappointment, making it our responsibility and making it mean something about us, that we people please. We say yes to everything that the external world asks and demands of us, so that we never have to feel the disappointment of another and whatever we have made that mean about us. And likewise, in the opposite of the same, we rarely are able to express our needs, the support we require, our desires, especially from other, in case they are unable to be met, and therefore we feel the weight of our own disappointment. And that's just one example of many core feelings that we create strategies and coping mechanisms around. And for me, that is a very personal one, and one that I have worked through being able to hold more of in my body without feeling like I am collapsing and dissolving or needing to run away and hide, but rather being in relationship to disappointment itself and what I have historically made that mean about me and about other people. So maybe that gives you a little insight into what may be present and alive for you. Where are you on that scale, on that journey? Are you burnt out, in victim, a martyr? Are you walking the path of embodied resource and responsibility? Where have you arrived into yourself? Are you anchored truly in your own body and center? I welcome you to just take a moment to become truly present with yourself. Check in and ask, where am I, both physically and emotionally in this moment? How am I feeling in my body right now? What is happening within me and around me? Practices of self-awareness are so essential and profound for us reconnecting to ourselves and therefore deepening relationship within. These practices offer an opportunity for you to discern when you may be feeling dysregulated, in fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, in a state of survival. And most importantly, these practices of self-awareness empower you with tools to guide you back into your body, back into the present moment, and back into a rooted and resourced place. We can do this by focusing on the breath, taking a few nourishing breaths in and out, attuning to your surroundings and your environment, checking in with how you feel moment to moment, giving care and attention to those small parts of you that speak out through triggers, feelings, emotions. They're all guides, glimmers and openings, taking you deeper into how you are able to integrate, to embody more of your wholeness, and to begin the journey of cultivating a thriving life. This is the radical piece of responsibility that can truly only arrive when we are embodied. Because as we are embodied, we are connected to reality, and responsibility lives in reality. Responsibility exists in the remembering that it begins and ends with you. Becoming resourced and embodied will support all women, will support you to recognize when you're feeling dysregulated, to be able to take the steps necessary to return to a balanced state. Embracing practices of resource, presence, and attunement to yourself not only leads you on a path of your own thriving and well-being, but ripples out into all facets and relationships and areas of your life. It is a remembering that you as a woman deserve to thrive. And that begins in nurturing the relationship you have with yourself. that begins with nurturing the relationship you have with resourcing, nourishing, and nurturing your body, your heart, and your womb. If you are ready to take that journey, my love, I welcome you to join us. We will be gathering for 3 weeks in December through the shift of winter solstice to gather in circle with women, to embody resource in a new and profound way. This will be a space of community, sisterhood, connection, deepening relationship to self and body, heart and womb. A place of replenishment and nourishment on every single level. We will be launching in just a few days. So if you're feeling the call, the link for the waitlist is in the show notes of this episode. Invitations will be sent out to all women on the waitlist and then our email list first before we share it into the greater community on Instagram and socials. So scroll on down, sign up, get yourself on the waitlist. Take full radical responsibility for yourself and your life, your resource and your body. I'm so looking forward to guiding this journey. It is exactly what every woman needs and the feminine frequency yearns for, particularly at this point in season and in time. Deep cellular rest to reawaken the feminine frequency of your true essence. I'll see you inside, my love. Thank you for joining me on this journey today. If you loved this musing and sharing, I would love for you to share this episode far and wide. You can arrive into all of my offerings at rebecca-wilson.com. Links to dive deeper with me are in the episode notes. Remember, my love, you are here to be the fullest, most potent, powerful, embodied version of you. I am here to guide you into that. Hey love, I'm dropping in here to welcome you to join us in our online community membership, The Village. I created this space for women to gather, to return to themselves, to deepen the connection and the relationship with self, whilst held in a community of like-minded women walking the journey and the path of their own awakening.